Dear students, welcome back to my channel. In this class, let us discuss about a new concept called heat engine. Okay? What is an heat engine? Actually, in our daily life, we used to drive a car, we used to ride a bike, isn't it? So, these are just like heat engines, simplest type of heat engines. So, then the complex type of heat engine is, as you know well about, so it's an early heat engine which is said to be, in Kannada it is said to be Ugi Bandi. Okay, in English it is said to be steam engine. The first train, okay, that was run, so that was an heat engine. Okay, see here, heat engine means it's a device or simply it's a machine which is used to convert heat energy into mechanical work. Okay, a device which is used to convert heat energy into mechanical work is said to be heat engine. Since thermodynamics is a branch of physics that deals with what flow of heat energy or simply conversion of heat energy into mechanical work, in this thermodynamics, so it is mandatory to study about a heat engine, a typical heat engine. Please remember, as I said earlier, this heat engine will convert heat energy to mechanical work. Okay. Now, so which are the most important parts of a typical heat engine means? There are three parts. Three parts of a typical heat engine. First one, the source, which is also called as a hot reservoir. Hot reservoir. I will tell you later why it is called by the name reservoir. Okay. Source. Source is a device or simply source is a body which is maintained at a very high temperature. Okay. It is a hot body. And we will extract, okay, sorry, I will take this as some T1. Okay, let Q1 be the amount of heat energy extracted from the source. Okay, Q1 is the heat extracted from the source. Please remember, source is a body of very high temperature. Why it is called by the name hot reservoir means, even though you are extracting a certain amount of heat energy from it, its temperature never changes. Its temperature remains constant. Okay, so that is the actual thing here. Why we call that source as hot reservoir. Just like you can imagine a sea of water. Okay, if you daily bring one pot of water from the sea, can you find any decrease in the level of water in that sea? Obviously, the answer is no. Hence, it is said to be a reservoir. Okay, reservoir of water. Here, just like that, source is a reservoir of. It is a hot reservoir. Based on the fact that, so even though if you remove the heat energy or extract the heat energy from that source, its temperature remains constant. Okay, next. Second one, working substance. Okay, let us discuss about the working substance later. Next, sink. Sink is said to be a cold reservoir. Okay. Second important part of a typical heat engine is sink. Sink is a body with a very low temperature, which is maintained at a temperature T2. It's a cold body. In case of motorbike, in case of a car, usually the atmosphere will be considered as the sink. Okay. Next, Q2 amount of heat will be given to the sink. Heat given to the sink. Here I have wrote heat extracted from the source, heat given to the sink, extracted by what and given by what. Okay, so for that also we have one part in this typical heat engine. That very important part is said to be working substance. Working substance. Working substance is the most important part in case of any heat engine. Okay, so this working substance, there will be no fixed working substance. Okay, in case of a steam engine, steam is the working substance. Okay, in case of diesel car or diesel engine, okay, the mixture of oxygen and diesel will make the working substance. Okay, now the new technology is fuel injection technology, isn't it? That mixture will convert into working substance. Okay, so actually in bikes the carburetor will make that thing, mixture of oxygen, proportional mixture of oxygen and petrol. Okay, so like that. Working substance means in case of a steam engine, steam. In case of a diesel engine, so diesel plus oxygen. Okay, in case of petrol engine, petrol plus oxygen. Okay, next. So what is the work of this working substance means? As I said earlier, working substance will absorb Q1 amount of heat from the hot reservoir and it will reject Q2 amount of heat to the cold reservoir. Actually, so it will absorb the heat from source and it will give the heat to the sink. Next, if we come to the block diagram of a typical heat engine, block diagram. The most important part, as I said earlier, it is a working substance. Working substance. Actually, it is said to be the body of the heat engine. Okay. Next, here one part we have, that part is called source. Source is maintained at a high temperature T1. Next, here is one more part. That part is called sink, where sink is called cold reservoir, which is maintained at a temperature T2. Okay. Now, how does this working substance will work? Please remember, there is one principle behind this working of a heat engine. Actual working, let us discuss it later in the next video. Okay, I'm going to explain that. But here I would like to say the principle of working this working of this heat engine. Based on what principle does a heat engine works? Means, please remember, it consists of three different parts. Okay, each and every part are different and they have different temperatures. Okay, but as per the principle of heat engine says, the different parts of the heat engine, all the different parts of the heat engine tends to come to the thermal equilibrium state. Okay, the principle of a heat engine says that the different parts of the heat engine which are at different temperature, they tends to come to thermal equilibrium state or thermal equilibrium condition. Based on this, our heat engine will work. Actually, it's a cyclic process. Okay, how it works I will explain it later. Okay, so what happens in case of a cyclic process? The system, after passing through various states, it will come to its initial state, so that in order to achieve its initial temperature, initial pressure and initial volume, based on that principle it will work. Okay, anyhow, now here the block diagram says that what is the function of working substance? The function of working substance is to absorb the heat from source. As I said earlier, Q1 is the amount of heat energy absorbed by the source and it will reject Q2 amount of heat to the sink. So how about remaining heat energy? I will write the remaining heat energy here. The remaining heat energy is Q1 is coming, Q2 is going. Therefore, remaining thing is Q1 minus Q2. This Q1 minus Q2 will convert into work done. Okay. So, this is the basic function of any heat engine. Absorbing the heat energy and conversion of heat energy into work, useful work. Okay. Q1 is the amount of heat energy absorbed by the source, absorbed from the source. Q2 is the amount of heat energy given to the sink. Okay. Remaining thing is Q1 minus Q2. So this is the amount of useful work. Okay. So this is the block diagram of a typical heat engine. Now if we talk about the efficiency, how much of heat energy it is absorbing and how much of work it is going to do. Based on that, we explain the efficiency. Efficiency here denoted by eta. Already you might have heard about efficiency of an engine in case of your work, power and energy chapter. Okay, find the efficiency of the engine. An engine, a motor can pump up water from a well 100-meter deep to a height, okay, 100-meter. Okay, so like that questions you might have solved. Okay, that same type of efficiency, actually efficiency is given by output to the input. What is the output here? Output is work done. What is the input? In order to do such work, it is taking Q1 amount of heat. Therefore, input is Q1. Next, in place of W, what we can write? Q1 minus Q2. Q1. Okay. You can also simplify this like this. Q1 if you take outside, it will become 1 minus Q2 by Q1. Isn't it? Next, I will cancel Q1 and Q1. Therefore, efficiency is given by 1 minus Q2 by Q1. 1 minus Q2 by Q1, which is also called as 1 minus T2 by T1. We can write this, we can equate 1 minus Q2 by Q1 to the 1 minus T2 by T1 if and only if Q2 by Q1 is equal to T2 by T1. Actually, it is valid in case of a typical heat engine. Okay, it's a derivation, so let us discuss it later. Okay, the efficiency of a typical heat engine is given by 1 minus Q2 divided by Q2 or 1 minus T2 divided by T1. Q2 means amount of heat rejected to the sink. Q1 means amount of heat absorbed by the source. T2 means temperature of the sink and T1 is temperature of the source. Okay. Now, is it possible to achieve efficiency 100%? That's my small question to you. Okay. Is it possible for any engine to achieve 100% of efficiency? Answer is no. Because to get 100%, this thing Q2 and Q1, just take a look at the values. Okay. It will become 100% if and only if this thing will become 0. Will it become 0? For that Q2 has to be 0. Okay. So maintain, it means T2 is equal to 0 Kelvin. Okay. Is it possible to go to 0 Kelvin? No engine will work. Therefore, actually no heat engine is 100% efficient. Efficiency of all the heat engines is always less than 1. Please remember. Only just we can increase the efficiency by using some methods. One of the simplest method is for N to be maximum, T1 has to be maximum and T2 has to be minimum. Okay, for getting N maximum, we have to maintain the source at very huge temperature. That is the reason why usually your bike never starts with the first kick. Okay, so actually for working of this heat engine, source has to be maintained at a very high temperature. Actually, which part is said to be the source in your bike? Actually, due to the mixture of oxygen and petrol, okay, when the bike starts, whatever heat produced, that heat has to be considered as source. Okay, from that working substance will absorb the heat and it will give to the sink. Whatever the thing that comes out of the silencer of your bike, okay, sink means surroundings. Okay, so that exhaust that comes to the surroundings has to be taken as a Q2 there. Please remember, in cold countries, the mileages of bikes and cars will be more when compared to our Indian conditions. So that is what is the reason behind that means. So in case of cold countries, the temperature of the surroundings is very low. That is T2 is very less. When T2 is less, eta will be more, isn't it? Otherwise, if you compare the mileages of a petrol car and diesel car, please remember, I will tell you an example. In case of which car gives you more mileage, diesel or petrol? Which car gives more mileage? I am talking about car, not bike and car. Okay, so I am talking about car, same type of cars. Okay, first one is diesel car, second one is petrol car, just like Maruti Suzuki Swift. Okay, so both the variants are there, petrol car and diesel car. Which gives the more mileage means obviously the diesel car will give more mileage. It means the efficiency of diesel car, okay, here is more. Reason is, see, diesel will burn nearly at 700 degrees Celsius, whereas petrol burns at 400 degrees Celsius. What I said earlier, for more efficiency, source has to be at high temperature, as high as possible. Okay, here in case of diesel, 700 degrees Celsius will be the source temperature. But in case of petrol, 400 degrees Celsius is the source temperature. Since in case of diesel engine, the source temperature is very high, its efficiency is also high. And the sink temperature will be constant. Okay, so that is surrounding temperature remains constant, like that. Okay, anyhow, so that's it from the concept of heat engine. In the next class, I will say something about Carnot's heat engine. Okay, Carnot is the name of the person. He designed one heat engine. He says that, so no heat engine can achieve the efficiency of my heat engine, that is Carnot's heat engine, like that. Anyhow, let us see it later in the next videos. And then I am going to tell you an interesting story about, actually heat energy always flows from high temperature to low temperature. Okay, but in the next video I am going to show you heat energy also flows from cold body to hot body. Okay, anyhow, thank you for watching. Let's meet in the next class.